Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Advancement Center. It's good to see you, and welcome to this magnificent, ever expanding new world that keeps growing every second of every day. And to our friend Hypersonic Magic, the magic of the new framework of the new world, like when you get high test gas at the gas station, you have magic and miracles, and then you have hypersonic magic. And that's the magic of the new world and of the new framework that's containing the new world. And everything is happening at an amazing speed, as we always say here, because it always is. But you begin to see things where your life is in some turmoil, and then all of a sudden it vanishes out of nowhere. And it's something you can't fully explain. You don't know what happened. Some pain, some difficulty just disappears. It's like you can feel like a shift or movement, but you've never experienced it before because usually there's a time lag where you call out to your creator or to someone who supports you, and then holding that, knowing that you're being looked after, it happens. But this is different. There's no time lag. You just all of a sudden are in another place, but in the same place at the same time, feeling like there was never any difficulty, and your mind is blown because you don't know really how it happened. But it's one of those things that Simeon has spoken about many times, that what you need came to you before you even asked for it. That those beings who support us and even ourselves in the new world are bringing things in before this human aspect of ourselves can recognize that the answer is already on its way. So what I wanted to say is, for anyone who is suffering physically, mentally, or spiritually, this too will pass. And it will pass quickly. And know that it will become a memory that will soon then disappear into vapor and return back to the source of where it originated. So we won't even be carrying a memory of a difficulty or a pain. It's not unlike what we've already experienced, because we've forgotten more things than we've ever been healed from. There'll be difficulty and we'll be in it, and it seemed like a lifetime, and then it'll disappear, and we'll forget that it ever happened. So it's for anyone who's suffering or feeling like they're in some kind of difficulty. And know that you are always in the arms of an angel and in the arms of your Creator. And so these words from that song I express says, in the arms of an angel, fly away from here to the dark, from the dark place where you worried, where there was endless fear. You were pulled from the wreckage of your quiet reverie. You're in the arms of an angel. You will find great comfort there. So now I'm going to read something. So just sit back and relax and allow my voice to bring you whatever you need, whether it be healing or knowing or peace or joy, and feel the vibration of the words as they are delivered as I read this story to you. It's titled, The Essence of You and the Two Trees. Like a sweet fragrance that originates from a beautiful flower and lingers in the air forever, so too does the essence of you. It lingers in the air for eons of time, for it is energy, and energy can never die. There will be many who encounter its beautiful fragrance, never knowing its origin, for it will appear to have come from nowhere, while feeling at the same time that it is everywhere. This is you, the eternal, infinite you, the one who has never been born, and the one who can never die, the one who is like a mist, a vapor, a fragrance, an essence. It is within and behind the form that you see in the mirror every day, and it has existed in many forms over the eons of time and no time, of birth and no birth, and of death and no death. Stop for a moment and feel the presence of that one that I am speaking about. You have always been aware of its existence within you, but as you have incarnated into the physical form that you see when you look down at your hands, you enter into the limited awareness of yourself as only matter. But if you look at your hands with the awareness that I am now speaking and transmitting to you, you will begin to feel the two, and you will recognize the presence of the one who is and has always been speaking to you through the physical form that your hands are a part of. I remember at the age of 16, looking in the mirror and saying to myself, I'm David Best. I didn't know it at the time, but I was seeing the two and experiencing the one. It was a moment of awareness that I could not hold on to, but a moment nonetheless that changed me and began a journey that would lead me to where I am right now, with the ability to say these words to you on this day. As I stood in front of the mirror and repeated, I'm David Best. I felt more and more confused and out of place. Who's talking? And who's David Best? This was a completely random moment, and I found myself calling out to my 17-year-old brother, Bobby, come here. Stand in front of the mirror and say, I'm Bobby Best. He looked at me like I was crazy, but he did it. He felt nothing, and then he knew I was crazy. He would not experience this awareness in the same way that I would, but I didn't understand that in that moment. And ultimately, I was just looking for someone to confirm my experience so that I didn't think that I was crazy. Maybe he did experience what I did, but he didn't want to say so. As the older, more responsible brother, he might have wanted to keep us grounded. Maybe like in the movie Field of Dreams, when Kevin Costner and James Earl Jones's character went to the baseball game and Kevin Costner saw the scoreboard flash a player coming up to bat from 70 years ago. And he asked James Earl Jones' character, did you see that? And he said, no, but he actually did. Little did I know that in 5 short years, my brother would be gone to the other side. But his love, support, and protection would always be with me. Now I'll have to ask him, did he feel what I felt that day? If not, maybe he experienced it at some other time while he was still in the body. But I know for sure that he most certainly did experience it when he left his body. Who we are is like a pool of water, perfect in its atomic structure, perfect in its stillness, powerful in its chemical composition, a perfect medium for all to exist upon. Every incarnation, every new form we inhabit is like a ripple on the pool of water. Every feeling, every emotion, and every new awareness is like a ripple that goes out into everywhere and nowhere, just like that fragrance, and then returns back to that pool of water, its source. Of course, each pool and each body of water is connected to the one ocean, the one source where your unique, individuated pool arises from. Therefore, there is only one body of water, one energy, and one source that all things arise from, go out from, and return to. I'm sure that each one of you have had an experience like the one I just spoke about in your lifetime. And if you haven't, maybe you're having it now, or maybe you'll be having it in the very near future. It's just simply who we are. So feel your essence, the pool of water. Each ripple has been orchestrated. Every disturbance is perfect, for the essence can never die and has never been born. Each being, each tree, each animal and plant, and each and every piece of life has its own essence and is imbued with the essence of the one ocean, the source, the creator. So we have 2 trees growing, the tree of our physical life and the tree of our eternal life, both planted and growing simultaneously. That day that I looked in the mirror and said, I'm David Best, was the first day that I remember being aware of the eternal tree. Until that moment, I only knew of the physical tree. And even in that moment, I did not really understand what I had just become aware of. Both trees are growing up, but one is visible and the other is hidden. One is limited and the other is unlimited. One is temporary and the other is eternal. I am not telling you anything that you don't already know deep within you. You have come to know it through moments that you've never told anyone, or that didn't register as something outside of the physical world because you could not comprehend it. Even though the roots of the physical tree are hidden, we look out of these physical eyes and we see the tree growing tall and sturdy with branches that produce shade and that enhances other people's lives and delivers a feeling of harmony, balance, and abundance. The eternal tree and its roots cannot be seen, it can only be felt, and it delivers eternity and the awareness of something grander. It is our spirit, that pool of water, that ocean of source. Both trees have their purpose, and neither tree is greater or lesser than the other. The eternal tree holds a place for all trees to exist. It is the foundation for all other trees. The physical tree is like an accessory, like jewelry, an aspect of the eternal tree that has entered into matter and into form to display itself for all to see. This physical tree goes through many challenges. It must face the harsh conditions of its environment, be it the heat or the cold, the wet or the dry. It must survive these elements, which then allow it to thrive. Once it has conquered the elements, it is filled with a resilience and a strength that gives it its majestic stature. And in order to conquer these challenges, it commits 100% of itself to the growth of itself within the physical plane. Therefore, a child is born, and every program that was designed to make them focus on this physical world is downloaded into their field, and their journey begins in the world of the physical plane. Step by step, they begin by accepting the program of cause and effect, and they are told that if they get a good education, they'll get a good job. If they get a good job, they'll have more money. If they have more money, they'll have a better life. If they have a better life, they'll attract a better partner. And if they have a better partner, they'll create better children. And if they create better children, they'll create a better world. And as they start on their path, they find a passion for the work they would like to do and for places they would like to live. Once here, they are fully entrenched in the world of the physical tree and the programs that govern its growth. Throughout the steps of growth of the physical tree, they have moments of experiencing that other tree, the eternal tree. These are flashes, sounds, moments of something other than the physical tree that they cannot explain. Maybe like saying their name as they look in the mirror. But these things don't change their direction, for it is not yet time for that to happen. So they continue pressing on for the goal that has been laid out before them in the physical world. They get that education, they get that job, they make that money, they buy nice things, they find that partner, they bring those children into the world, and the physical tree grows. And it is majestic, for they have done what they set out to do in spite of all the challenges, and they present a beauty from within their life that others can see and be inspired by. But they realize there's something missing. And that's when they become aware of that other tree, the eternal tree that has been growing inside of them. They never took notice of it or gave it any focus. But now it is time for the eternal tree to grow. The eternal tree. Your true home is now calling your name and making you aware of its existence. That voice inside you that has always led you now has become real. How you have come to this moment matters not. All that matters is that you did. The eternal tree is about to take you on the greatest ride that you could have ever imagined. Encounters with masters, the angels, your friends and family that have crossed over, the many entities that have been looking after you while you have lived in the world of the physical tree, and who will be supporting and assisting you in the world of the eternal tree. You may discover your soul family here on earth, and you may discover your team that has guided and worked with you from the outer reaches of the universe. Just as there are boards of directors for conglomerates of corporations and a United Nations to oversee and govern the countries on the planet, there are galactic federations and councils of galaxies that oversee and govern the operations of planets, universes, and galaxies. These are operating in star systems and dimensions that exist far beyond the awareness of those who are living in the world of the physical tree. So obviously, there are other planets with life, what we would call extraterrestrial beings with much higher levels of technology than we have, but they are all governed by these federations and councils, and many of us are actually on them. I am one of those who is. As that eternal tree grows within you, you will discover the existence of a multi-dimensional world with multi-dimensional beings, which we all are. It's as drastic and eye-opening as when Neo in the Matrix took the red pill. For this eternal tree has been hidden in plain sight right next to the physical tree of the physical world. And now it will be the tree that you focus on, and you will be made aware of who you really are and will be given access to the ancient wisdom which has already belonged to you. Life will begin to make sense to you, and your suffering will start to diminish. You will begin to understand how it all works and see the bigger picture of it all, that we are infinite, divine beings. And if we measured our existence in time, we would see that we have been in one form or another, or no form at all, for trillions of years. You will begin to see the negative entities and their systems that they have used to deliver the programs to maintain control of humanity. But at the same time, you will start to experience the true power and unconditional love of that one ocean, that source, that creator from which all things arise. And you will see that we have never been alone and that we have always been looked after. You will be overwhelmed with the discovery of this other tree in you, and you will begin to remember who you really are. And in this place, you will see the insignificance of what you once thought were problems. And soon you will grow into a wisdom that is able to say that there never were any problems, that all things have been orchestrated and have come into your life at the perfect time, just like these words that I'm speaking, just like that day I spoke my name into the mirror. There are no accidents. All is unfolding in its perfected time. The mystery unfolds, and you have become the eternal tree. And step by step, you begin a journey of service to humanity and all life everywhere, which is the root of the eternal tree. Even as you individually benefit from the wisdom and freedom that it leads you into, it is for humanity that you now realize you came to earth. And whether you are raising a family or sitting in your chair at home within this physical world, or you are speaking to people and writing words like I am, it is all about service and love for humanity. And you can do that in whatever way works for you. You can and should be proud of what you have accomplished in the world of the physical tree, but it will always pale in comparison to what you will do in the world of the eternal tree. For the eternal tree is spirit, and you, after all, are spirit too. You have incarnated into a physical being at this time, so this aspect of you is absolutely human. And it has a lot of experience and a lot to accomplish. But that you that is the pool of water, that mist, that vapor, that sweet fragrance, that essence is the container for all forms that you incarnate into. You are to be congratulated for your life in either tree, and there is nothing you need to do to leave one and enter the other. When it is the right time for it to happen, it will happen. And no matter what, there is nothing that you can do that is wrong. And therefore, there is never any judgment against you for exercising your sovereign authority and free will choice. And now the new world is here, and many of us will be leaders of this new world. I am one of those. And if you are listening to these words, so are you. The world will no longer be run by those 7 families, which include names like Rothschild, that came from the lineage of the negative entities, those who sought to control humanity. Instead, the leaders will be agents of love, those who seek to honor and respect each sovereign, divine, eternal being, and allow humanity and the human entity freedom to flourish and thrive. Having the awareness to know thyself and love thyself, and to love everyone as you have never loved before. And now the adventure has begun, for the truth of it has been placed in the field. There's now nothing to do but to celebrate its arrival, to watch for what is coming next for you and for all humanity as you discover more and more of your magnificent essence and find rest in that eternal tree. Cheers to us all. We were born before the wind, also younger than the sun, and the bonny boat was one as we sailed into the mystic. Hark now, hear the sailors cry, smell the sea and feel the sky. Let your soul and spirit fly into the mystic. And when that foghorn blows, I will be coming home. When that foghorn blows, I want to hear it. I don't have to fear it, 'cause I want to rock your gypsy soul, just like way back in the days of old. Then magnificently we will flow into the mystic. Then magnificently we will flow into the mystic. Your essence is magnificence. And the 2 trees, one is on my right and one is on my left, and they both belong to you. And you may choose. But each and every one of us are headed back to the source, which is the home of the eternal tree. Thank you, everyone, for joining me, and thank you for listening. I am David.